That new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
The time is now 9:21 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's time for our Talk to Me segment here on Activated Mornings on WEFM. The number to call is 457-9997. Also, the number to WhatsApp, 457-9997. We're live on YouTube and Facebook at WEFM 99SVG.
Are you handful? Like you're already exhausted by the topic.
So,
Man.
when I first stand up like man.
Okay, so the question is the statement rather, it's not even a question. Men should never open up to women.
So in case
Never.
you're wondering where the statement came from, Shaquille O'Neal, we all know Shaquille O'Neal, he has a podcast, and on that podcast, he made the disclaimer that he made the statement that he has never opened up to a woman that he has been involved with. According to Shaq, when you open up to women, it is often thrown in your face the minute things go sour, and sometimes things don't even have to go sour. Now, outside of that, there was do I want to say therapist or psychologist? I am not sure, that had said the sure way for a man to lose his woman is to open up to her about his problems. How do you feel about that, Christal?
Turn that thing on just a little bit, please. Thanks. Yeah. Men should not open up to the wrong woman. I think there are ways where you can tell, like there are signs. Just as you can pick up green flags with people, you can pick up red flags with people, right? Sometimes I think like based on listening to people talk and looking at videos and reading articles and stuff, there are like instances where there are exceptions to the rule. You have to be, as a man, one, comfortable within yourself before you can divulge such information, very intimate information, to a woman. But pay attention to her. Pay attention to her. Are you picking up a lot of green flags? Maybe test the waters as well. Tell her something that's maybe on the surface in terms of like levels of intimacy or secrecy. Something at the top that's not so secret that some people know or lots of people know, that maybe she can hold a secret on, see how she responds to that information. Observe how she is with her friends and her family. Pick up on the green flags, look for telltale signs to be able to ascertain whether or not this is the woman for you. I don't think that men and women should be together and the man should not feel comfortable and safe within her space.
You know what I think? I think that these days and these challenges and these different things that we do on social media often reveal to us who we should trust and who we should be involved in. For example, the popular trend for people to call or message their friends to see which one of their friends would cover for them. I don't know how I would feel in a relationship if somebody make a post showing that their friends are openly lying for them under no pressure. That ain't amusing to me. Where was I last night? Of course you were with me. That's not amusing to me. That's friendship.
That's friendship.
So then me in a relationship
back
saying that, how am I supposed to trust you? Much less trust you with certain information. And I'm pretty sure a number of men could tell you that when they open up to women, whether it's their personal problems, maybe it's emotional problems that they're having, financial problems that they're having, sexual problems that they're having, at some point it is thrown back in their face. I myself am a victim of that. And this is my story. Sorry, that's really funny to me. I like to say that. But
I
but it's fact in a lot of the cases, whether subtle, whether covert or overt, it is thrown back in your face at some point, and that is why a lot of men tend to keep their emotions to themselves. Whatever struggle they're going through, they keep it to themselves because you never know at what point, sorry, would this be thrown back in their faces.
now two things. What is so wrong with having a conversation with a woman in the beginning of a relationship, a courtship, whatever it is, friendship, whatever ship you're sailing, in the beginning of that, while you're at the port, what is wrong with having a conversation about this said topic? About there's something about man and woman relationship that I don't understand. Ask her, why do women throw things back in men's faces and see how she responds?
Why do women throw things back in men's faces?
Because they're insecure, because they're not mature, because they don't understand their role as a woman within the relationship, because they don't realize that we that
Now
woman.
then, as if you have something to tell me.
No, when I say they, I mean because
I know what
they
I
don't
know.
understand, and I
know.
do, right?
I
I
know,
think
I
I
know, I know.
do. Because I think as a woman, you're supposed to be your man's peace. When he out there in the world and everybody like beating up on his back, he's supposed to be able to come home and not literally hug you up and lay on your chest, but he's supposed to emotionally and physically, let me try it physically too, come and lay on you. That's what I think. And if you are not providing that environment, of fostering that environment, and it's coming from one, a place of peace, and one of sincerity, and two, of sincerity, then I think there's something wrong. On the flip side to that, the man also needs to, um, I think, create the space that also enables that. Because she can be very soft, she can be kind, she can be peaceful, she can be all these things, but he's just not ready for that. So it creates an imbalance within that relationship. But yeah, I think immaturity, not understanding like the role that you can play and should play in a man's life.
So in my experience, I feel like a lot of women hide behind anger. Like, oh, I was just angry, so I said that, and yeah, that should
If you're
make it okay.
angry, take some time to calm yourself down,
Hmm.
right? And communicate, talk about it, talk, talk. Well, we're talking about talking, right?
Uh,
The irony. But I don't know. Another thing that I don't understand, right? With all these like man and woman conversations and arguments, like people just feel like they are stuck on to glue to the other person. If they're not working out, then you could just leave, right?
Ain't not gonna back.
You can just leave, pack up your clothes and left. I don't know. Maybe it's a situation where people are just walking around with a lot of trauma, and the attachment styles are like not healthy, but they just cannot hold on to the pride and dignity, and just, if it's not working, then tata, a million people in the world. You think that that's the person for you who giving you stress? No, sir. Hello, good morning. Oh, the background,
Hello.
Okay, gone. Lovely. Good morning.
Yeah, that's why I like you. You're so
Jesus.
bold, and you speak with so much maturity. Maybe I came at the wrong time.
No,
You know.
I know what you're
Hello.
talking about, but no. Okay.
You ain't giving me a chance. You've been talking and talking, and as though you have all the answers, and that's a problem with us too. You understand?
Mhm.
They talk about compatibility. That sounds like a big word. And I would like you to explain what compatibility means to me. Right? But listening to you, and I'm glad you're speaking to, I don't know if you're older than Ari, but I'm glad you're speaking to a young man, because
Yes,
it
she is
says
older
that
than me.
women. Hello?
Yeah, she is older than me.
Rub it
All
in.
right. So you have to, it's important. I like how Christal comes over and says what she has to say. And that's what made me felt so special about her, the way she She said things. Sometimes I think she said things beyond, well, I mean, I've known her, I'm accustomed to her for some years now, and I think sometimes she says things, and I wonder where she gets all this experience from, as though she has been through many experiences. But it's worth a while.
Sorry.
We have to be, you think about it too, when it all boils down to being honest, telling the truth, but how many couples in relationships really are honest to each other? We have to ask ourselves these personal questions.
Oh, okay.
Because, hello?
No, I agree. How many persons are honest with each other?
Right. So all of this makes a hell of a difference, right? Because since I know myself too, you will always listen to some talk, and you'll hear them say, you can't tell a man everything about you, and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right away, there must be something shady about that, if you understand what I'm saying. If you can't tell each other, I mean, I may have my own mindset about that too, but the important thing is being honest and loving and caring. That's why I said I came at the wrong time. Christal? Thank you.
All right. You take care. Going back to Shaq, right? I don't think I'll date somebody who like blatantly refuses without giving the opportunity and the chance to allow the woman to create that space for him. I don't think I'll date somebody who doesn't want to share, who is closed off. I think the term is avoidant. Let me put again at the end of that because only God knows. But anyways, you can share your views. WhatsApp number is 4579997. Number to call is also the same number, and the comments can come through on the live at WFM9 and SVG on Facebook and YouTube. All right. Yeah, I was saying as you left out, I don't think I'll date. If Shaq approached me and he told me that that's his policy, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work.
Yeah, but it's what's safe at the time.
It's what's safe, but then how am I supposed to feel knowing that I'm in a relationship and we're supposed to be intimate, we're supposed to be communicating, and I'm giving my all, right? And I'm creating that. I am being myself first and foremost. And being myself is creating that space for you to be safe as well, and you're not opening up to me. I feel like I'll start to like internalize it and feel like useless, what else are you keeping from me? Like, do you really love me?
No, I understand what you're saying, but then in that situation, then I do think that if somebody is that guarded, then you then work towards creating an environment where they feel comfortable having certain discussions or certain conversations. Because what we're talking about isn't something far-fetched at all. I do not know what it is, but I feel like there's a certain level of pettiness that exists in women that I would always say I would never move into a woman's house, because chances of a woman throwing you out of her house are a lot higher than a man throwing a woman out of his house. Why is that?
Moving into, I feel that there's a conversation for a different day. Because if you do not feel comfortable enough with that woman, it's either a you problem or a her problem, or a relationship problem. Like, y'all just not compatible. Because I don't see anything wrong with a guy moving into a woman's house and her losing respect for the man because it is her house. It's not something that you should throw in the face, because you also have to understand the dynamics of the male, the female, and your relationship.
Okay.
Right? But the two of you have to, like, I mean, financially and legally understand, okay, legally this is my house, but we are living together.
I'm glad that you brought up compatibility, because it was following a conversation about compatibility that certain things that I had said to someone was then thrown in my face, and it was shocking, but not so shocking. It was not so shocking because I've seen conversations about it, and I've been exposed to different conversations. But it was shocking from coming from the person that I thought had a certain level of emotional maturity. And I could wholeheartedly understand where Shaq was coming from. because it's quite easy for, as you say, well, you're not saying that, but you brought it up. A woman losing a respect for a man if a man shows certain vulnerabilities. But then what does that say about
Wrong woman. Wrong woman for the man. Woman for a man. You know that song? So hard to find. One day, get me right the number. Play that today.
Well, I think it's a rather bold statement, but I don't think that it should be a rule. I think it should be, you should guard yourself against it. But if you notice that your partner is somebody who's going to throw things in your face, and you just step away from the situation. If it is that you cannot speak to them about it, step away from the situation. As I say, people act like walking away isn't an option.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we get in too far, too deep, too soon. Right? And we overlook the red flags, and we don't know. By that time you're already attached and what's not. So walking away. I know that I said if it's not working out, then just leave. You can, it's still possible too. But for some folks, walking away, realistically speaking, is a bit harder than others. I think authenticity is really important. I don't think from my readings and listening to stuff, I don't think you can like truly love somebody else unless you know yourself and you love yourself first. And I believe that that's coming from a biblical standpoint too. All right. If, and I'm gonna repeat it, if I'm being authentic and I'm coming from a place of like peace and self-love, and my partner still doesn't feel comfortable, then that's a him problem. And I think that's something that he needs to work out, because it could create issues within the relationship. And if he's unwilling to work on his trauma, because it could be trauma too, why some men are closed off, trauma from other relationships, trauma from his mother, trauma from his father, trauma from some sort of experience. If he's unwilling to, then that shows me the level of maturity as well in him, because I am on a certain level and I understand the level that I am on. To me, that you two of you are like not on the same level. If after a while, because I mean, healing and getting to know yourself, it does take time. But if he's not making an effort to, even after I have said, this is what I expect of a relationship where I am right now in my maturity, even if after stating all of that he's unwilling, then maybe it's time to just move on.
All right.
I don't know, it's coming from a single person, so
Yeah, it's also coming. This is also coming from a single person. But
wild.
you know, it's crazy. Some of the single people have the best advice and have the best outlook on things, but then
And the worst relationships.
But maybe that's why we're single, because we know exactly what to look for and what to expect.
Yeah, you know, there's this priest, Miles Monroe. I don't know if you know him. He's passed away. He was Bahamian, but he was quite well known. He would have made friends with like people like T.D. Jakes and Les Brown and so on. Passed away in a plane crash, him and his wife Ruth and some other folks some years ago. But he has this talk about singleness. And well, basically what he was saying, that before you even get into a relationship, you need to be single first. You need to figure out what your likes are and dislikes, because if you don't know what you like, how do you expect somebody to do what you like or give you what you like, right? How do you expect to like state certain things within a relationship if you're not at a certain place, if you're not yet comfortable with who you are and like your personal dynamics? How do you expect to have a successful relationship if you don't know yourself and love yourself? So it was an interesting talk, and I've listened to it like more than once, because I found that, you know, yeah, some rather interesting things in here. He's making quite a bit of sense. Yeah.
Well, although we're having a good conversation about this, so let's get to some comments.
Right. Both male and the female get into relationships without getting to know each other on a whole, like their likes and dislikes, the do's and don'ts, your family, your background. Starting a relationship is like studying for an exam. Some people might say, what's love got to do with it? Woman, wrong woman, same thing. Oh, no, stop. And the therapist that they're both right. I think that men should be able to open up to their significant others, but as it stands today in the present time, I don't think men should. When women start to show holistically that they hold men's softer side and not throw it back at them, at some point, hold that inside. The health of relationships either survive or die depending on a healthy past, like deep in the past. For both individuals. And men opening up to women is a ticking time bomb. That's a tickling. Most women would see that as a sign of weakness. I've seen it a lot. And that's unfortunate.
I told you. It's
Lay
common.
your head on my shoulder. Don't tell me all your troubles, baby. I'm just kidding. There's compatibility and there's soulmates. Yeah, what's the point to be in that relationship? And it can be circumstances. Make me what I am.
You know, the thing is like, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
What? That is how relationships work. Then again, after 20 odd years of marriage, I'm constantly reminded by my something. I'm constantly reminded of something I did or didn't do 15 years ago. You remember when the time I didn't close the door? I can't recall yesterday.
Don't slam a car door, please. Like how you be slamming the cupboards.
That, yeah, like how you be. And they're like, oh, that is marriage. Get used to it. Or you can listen for 2 minutes and then the next 58 minutes is just agreeing to something you didn't
don't actually listen to. Yep. Yep.
This sounds like you date some strange people. Who's you? Ari you or me you? The first rule in any relationship is trust and boundaries. If you both agree, then go for it. Let me throw in there respect. Respect is also important in relationships. Yeah, all that jazz. Knowing things and practicing them so different. You should be able to tell your partner any and everything without being judged and a shoulder to lean on. But you have to first be in that space to be comfortable with doing that. Not everybody is like that. And that could ruin a potentially great relationship, being closed off and avoidant. Work on yourself.
With that being said, there are also a lot of men that don't know how to communicate effectively. Bringing something up is not just communication. Communication is being open to listening to the response and having a dialogue about whatever it is going on. I don't want it to be known that it's only negative experiences. I've had a lot of positive experiences. I've had a lot of great communicators. I've met a lot of women who are able to.
A lot of women, eh? How old are you? You 30 yet? How much money you make?
Cannot stand Christal.
What's your business? You sit down though. You said no.
But yeah, but I'm able to communicate without there being an argument, with us having a proper understanding of the situation. And that in itself, I could tell you as a man, is very, very, very refreshing, and it's calming, and it makes you want to have more conversations with the person moving forward. But yeah, the time is now 9:45, and we have to make time for our community Dateline today. We'll be right back.
WEFM